Hi folks, Dave Schmidt here. It's the afternoon of Tuesday, February 16th as I'm coming to you today. I want to thank everybody who had listened to the radio program last week as I had the interview with Michael Leahill at his home in the Cleveland suburbs. Also, I want to thank all of you for a couple weeks prior to that had listened to the program where I was on the radio program with Janet and Sasha Lesson. If you have not listened to those two programs, I would highly encourage you to go back and do so, because there you're beginning to see the story that is unfolding. It was about 2 years ago that I started down this path, and I've had the privilege of just being led down a path that I didn't really seek. It just continued to find me. Now, as we are moving down this path about the history unfolding in the human race of who we are, what our true history is, and about these literally unconscious amount of gold that's been kept in these secret locations throughout Asia, and the history of the dragon family that is in Asia and how they are basically the keepers and the caretakers of all of that gold, and how all of that is going to be released to us in an unfolding basis of being able to help shift and change this planet. This is a story that I am very fortunate to have been a part of it. Now, there are others who are part of this story as well, as we are beginning to understand who we are as a history of the human race, our relationship with the Anunnaki and the different parts of the Anunnaki family. I'm beginning to understand there are two complete, really different clans of these groups of what are called the dragons or the serpents. In Asia, it's the dragon family, and the dragon family is composed of the royal bloodlines that come out of Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and China. But what we're also starting to see is that there is a secondary clan that they also claim, and it's proven in the what is called the historical records, the archaeological records, and in the DNA blood testing, that they are descendants of the Anunnaki as well. And that is the Native Americans. The Native Americans, not only here in the continental United States, predominantly in the Great Lakes region, but also the Native Hawaiians. Now, I clearly understand and know that those are two complete, distinct, and separate groups. But for simplistic purposes, here in this video today, I'm going to call them Native Americans, because as of today, we're all a part of America. Okay, thank you for allowing me to do that. These Native Americans are very different in their history, their culture, their upbringing, and their practices and their behaviors in contrast to the dragon families predominantly out of Asia and China. They are now starting to come out with their story and their side of the story as well. But they understand the same thing, that the Anunnaki, for literally thousands of years, had this gold. And this gold was to be released to us in the human race at the right appropriate time to make the right steps of healing our planet and healing ourselves and working ourselves in our own evolutionary process out of the thousands of years of what we call darkness and density of being here on planet Earth. There's a story that is unfolding here. Different people will have different parts of that story. Last week, Sasha Lesson described it well as basically, the story of the 5 blind men describing an elephant. This story is so big, so huge, that really none of us have the full, complete story, and we're all going to tell it a little bit differently because it's so big that we really at this time can't grasp the whole thing. I think I've got a pretty good picture, but so do others like David Wilcock and Corey Good and Michael Tellinger, and even coming out of the stuff with Sheldon Neidl and even some of the others. They all have very valid viewpoints, and I am not here in any way to get into a battle of who is right or who is wrong. Each of us are attracted to the different people at the different times of our lives that is helpful for us in our own growth and development. I want to congratulate all of them, and I want to applaud all of them in what they are doing in telling the story. And I'm telling my story as well. And the people that are here, a part of my audience, that are listening to me, you're the ones that are supposed to be here at this time. This story sometimes astounds me. In the back of my mind, in my human mind, I have to stop and ask, how did I get here? And yet it continues to find me without even me trying to make it happen. I didn't go looking for the dragon family. They contacted me, and I was the first one on this planet that really brought them out into the open. I didn't go looking for my contacts with Michael Leahill a true-blooded Nephilim, proven by the blood test by Harvard professors, and his story that was on the History Channel. I was led to him. When I found Dr. Janet and Sasha Lesson, I thought they were living in California, but yet I was divinely guided to take a trip to Maui and found out that's where they live. And Sasha Lesson has lived on the island of Maui for 37 years, and I visited their home twice. I'm in contact with these folks now, and our stories are all starting to come together to understand what it is. My job, I just don't have any, I don't have any other answer other than knowing I absolutely believe I am on a divine assignment. When I was with Michael Lee Hill in his home last week, and after the radio interview on Wednesday night, it was on Thursday, I'm just starting to process all this stuff, and I realized what just happened to me. I felt like I just stepped into another whole level, another whole plateau, and walked through another whole door of another chapter of the story unfolding. Michael would tell the stories about how the UFO orbs would start showing up to him. Well, I make my way home. On Friday, I'm processing a lot of this stuff. On Saturday, a friend from Hawaii visits me. On Sunday morning, I take him out driving around Sedona, and we have to make a quick trip of it because he has to head back to Phoenix. And I take him down to my most favorite spot on this earth, and that's the Red Rock Crossing at Oak Creek in front of Cathedral Rock. And I take some pictures. And I get home, and I download the pictures, and here are these two bright, bright orbs moving across my camera with basically also aura colors showing up. That's Sunday. Sunday afternoon, I hop in my car, and I drive here to Las Vegas to be with, my friend here, Karen, and then two of my absolutely wonderful friends, Suzanne and Robert Bertolis, are here on vacation in Las Vegas for a few days. Yesterday afternoon, I swing by the hotel where they are, pick them up, and we decide to drive out to Hoover Dam, which is 30 miles away. We get out there, and Suzanne is telling me what happened with this disc. It's called a 432 megahertz disc that Michael Lee Hill makes, and how it resonates with the vibration of the planet and the galaxy. And she's got this disc, and she's holding on to it. She says, man, I can just feel the vibration coming out of this thing. And she holds it up to the light in the window in the car. And then all of a sudden, she brings it down, and then she just starts taking pictures. And then 5 of these pictures, once again, we see the orbs showing up around Hoover Dam. These things are starting to show up to me. I've had others tell me what it means. I'm not going to go into all the details about that. Different people can believe different things. But I'll tell you, if there's anything, it gives me the confidence of, I know I'm on the right path of telling my part of the story. And the story continues to unfold, and the story continues to get bigger and bigger. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. Because, see, what I'm really discovering is this is a journey of faith. For all of it's a journey of faith. It's a journey of trusting where we are at this now moment right now. And by being faithful to that position at that moment, other doors begin to open up. It's been a pretty deep rabbit hole. I've been able to go down a rabbit hole, to have 3 trips to China, to meet with the Red Dragon, who I've told that these people own and control 95% of all the money on this planet. I've been told that they basically have the ability to control anything they want at any time. Now, there's other reasons why maybe some of that happened. I'm not going to get into that in this video. Then I had the ability to meet with Michael Lee Hill, a gentleman who is a part of the group of what is called the Labyrinth group. And if you read the Neruda interviews on the wingmakers.com, that's wingmakers.com website, you will begin to see that the Labyrinth group is probably the most secret, the most clandestine, and the highest top-level secret of organization on this planet. And Michael Lee is a part of that. You will hear him discuss that they are the ones that have regular contact, information, and communication with the star beings that are here on this planet. They don't like to be called aliens because they don't consider them aliens because we're all a part of the humanoid group. We all have the same DNA. They accept being called ETs because they are extraterrestrial, but they really like to be called star beings. And that's how I'm going to start addressing them. These are our star beings family. And they do show up. And they show up to certain groups of people, but they also understand that we as a collective of the consciousness of the 7 billion people on this planet aren't quite ready to have them show up in what we call full disclosure. But it's developing. And they are showing up to certain groups of people. They did show up to me about 2 years ago. And I had a dry period there for about 1.5 to 2 years, and now they're showing up again. It's a story that's unfolding that I'll continue to share with you. Now, there will be no radio program this week because I'll be traveling to Hawaii. I do want to make another quick announcement. I do have the workshop in Maui this coming Saturday, and my next workshop is going to be the first Saturday in April. Now, that's a tentative date. I still have to make the arrangements. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I think it's April 3rd or 4th, somewhere around that day. But the first Saturday in April, it's going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and as of now, Michael Lee Hill will be a guest and will be with us as well. You will be able to meet him, ask him questions, and you will be able to become acquainted with a full-blooded, real-life Nephilim, a hybrid human Anunnaki, proven by the blood test, proven by the statements that he has had when he was on the History Channel, and also substantiated by all these other stories of these very deep, top-secret people. This has been my journey. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. Some of you say, well, you got to be careful. You got to be cautious. All I can say is I have absolutely no fear. No fear. When you're on a divine assignment, you don't worry about that stuff. You just take the step, one step at a time. You learn how to go within and intuitively listen to what the Holy Spirit is saying to you, and you trust that. And you walk on that journey. Wow. 2 years ago, I had no idea this is where my journey was going to take me. 3 years ago, I was in a completely different world, totally different life, struggling financially. And here I am today, walking down a path in touch with people that most people can only think about and dream about. It's been my honor. It's been my privilege. I understand it's a divine assignment for me. And in the end, I know I'm just doing my job. And my job is to bring the story to you. So I bring the story to you as it unfolds to me, as I understand it, as it's told to me, and as I experience it. And I want you to know it's been a pleasure. I love what I do, and I would never leave this for anything, because I know I am right where I'm supposed to be. Well, folks, for some reason, the sound on my microphone quit right at that time. I want to thank you again for joining me this week on the video. Enjoy this segment, and we'll see you again next week on the Sedona Connection. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.